May I now request the clerk of this court to please read out the first charge. Thank you.
To the members of the jury, you will find the first charge in your charge sheet that you all received as part of your file. We're going to read the first charge concerning comrades past, present and future in Indonesia. Defendant number 1, ING Group, jointly and severally with defendant number 2, the State of the Netherlands, is charged with committing crimes under Section 3 of the Intergenerational Climate Crimes Act in the Cirebon region of Java in Indonesia by engaging in the following activities. It is alleged inter alia that 1. Defendant 1, the ING Group, joined a consortium of artificial legal persons engaged in financial activities, including arranging loans totaling $595 million to another consortium of artificial legal persons led by the Japanese national named Marubeni Corporation, amongst others, and intentionally aided, abetted and financed them to build the Cirebon coal-fired power plant project Unit 1 in the West Java region of Indonesia. 2. That ING Group, who are residents of the Netherlands, knowingly financed the destruction of the sources of livelihoods of natural human persons and sources of life for fish, trees and other non-humans whose lives depend on the sea and the coastal ecologies of West Java, in order to empower members of the production consortia to build and operate the Cirebon coal-fired power plant project Unit 1 to enrich themselves, the consortia and the State of the Netherlands. 3. That the financial support of ING Group to the Cirebon coal-fired power plant project Unit 1 caused pollution of seas, destroyed the interdependence of different life forms in the coastal regions, the interdependence of human and non-human lives, and made the land unfit for cultivation. 4. That the financial support of the ING Group to the Cirebon coal-fired power plant project Unit 1 caused irreversible harm to the health of present and future generations of human and non-humans, disabling both from regenerating themselves and future generations. 5. That notwithstanding the fact that these adverse impacts to the ecologies and communities in the West Java region, which arose from Cirebon coal-fired plant project Unit 1 had been brought to the attention of the ING Group willfully increased its finance by nearly 3 times and led another consortium of artificial financial legal persons to lend $595 million for the larger and more destructive Cirebon coal-fired power plant project Unit 2. 6. That since 1885, the State of the Netherlands has used its authority to make laws that prioritize the survival of the ING Group over humans and non-humans in the region of West Java, Indonesia and elsewhere. 7. That the State of the Netherlands joined the World Trade Organization, a consortium of states, to further expand the scope of activities of the ING Group and thereby increase their capacities to destroy lives and livelihoods of humans and non-humans in the West Java region of Indonesia and elsewhere. These activities, if proved to be true, constitute intergenerational climate crimes against past, present and future generations of humans, non-humans, cultures and ecosystems in Indonesia under Section 3, A, B, C and D of the Intergenerational Climate Crimes Act.
Thank you for that. I will now call upon our first witness to present their evidence in support of the charges against ING Group and the Dutch state. Our first witness is Meiki Paendong, who's Executive Director of the Indonesian Forum for the Environment, WALHI, from West Java. On request of the witness, we will first view a short evidentiary video, and after that, Meiki Paendong will address the court directly. If you are unable to view the subtitles on screen, a text of the subtitles has been given to you in your handouts, so you may refer them to. So we begin with our first testimony for the day.
pada itu batuk, panas, gatel, pada keserangnya tuh Mas. Pengaruh karena debu PLTU ya bisa ya. Orang semenjak ada PLTU sih.
Tapi kadang-kadang mengagetkan. Wah, hari ini ada ya rajungan, kadang-kadang hari nantinya nggak ada. Itu limbah.
Iya, bersuara kalau malam berisik.
Kan rusak di laut,
bisa dijamin. Ada juga serang.
debunya panas, airnya panas. Kalau apalagi kan nang mata, aduh.
Tongkang nyawa.
Kalau fotoin.
Siapa dari di situ? Kan ada pantaunya 20 meter. Ini Pak bukan pantaunya Pak. Saya tuh belum ada PLTU, belum ada bapak. Saya udah di sini. Saya udah 16 tahun di sini. Nelayan tuh, tapi nggak ada masalah. Barang ini ada PLTU masalahnya berat. Anak saya kurang makan, anak saya kurang jajan, sekolah berhenti. Kadang nggak sanggup, nggak ada sanggupnya nggak sekolah. Kan gitu kan. Barang ini sekarang kan susah. Apalagi bukur. Itu kan tahu kan ikan mati di darat tadi. Tuh, itu berarti semalaman luar tuh limbahnya. Kalau malam keluar tuh ada yang mati ikannya, siangnya tuh nggak kuat, panas, terus itu kan di orang ujung gatel tuh ya, itu ada apa namanya yang seperti batu bara tuh hitam tuh.
Tanah sendiri. Sini sampai garam itu yang didudukin PLTU garam saya di situ. Ada yang sebelah sini, ada yang sebelah sana. Gitu. Posisinya saya yang pertama ya Pak. Yang pertama udah dikurung, ini jalan, ini tanah saya. Ini jalan, ini tanah saya, pinggir jalannya. Jalan pertama tuh Pak, jalan pertama. Pertama-tamanya ribut aja, ada yang kalau tidak dikasihkan nanti ada apa-apa. Ditakut-takutin Pak. Malam-malam masuk ke rumah ditakutin lagi. Kayak gitu Pak. Jadi musyawarah tuh bilangnya tuh tidak beres nih. Jadi perhargaan tuh berarti apa sih namanya terpaksa, paksaan. Iya saya juga takut-takuti. Namanya itu lain-lainnya udah dijual ya sudah kasihkan.
Berjuang Pak, demo di PLTU, dan datang Pak, belum ditandatangani. Rakyat kok anak keluar Pak, duit, balsam, betul-betul. Duit bagi Pak, duit betul. Duit kontainer, duit betul.
Ya ini kan pakai batu bara. Yang PLTU 1 aja kadang-kadang kalau ngebuang asap nyampe ke sini loh. Apalagi ini kan dekat. Apalagi misalkan itu anginnya dari angin laut.
Iya, menolak sebenarnya Pak kalau ada PLTU, cuma kan kalau rakyat kecil kan bagaimana? Terima aja rakyat kecil.
Iya ya.
Urusannya kalau sama pemerintah, harus pemerintah susah Pak.
Ya, nelayan sebenarnya masalah keluhan itu banyak setelah ada pengembangan PLTU Cirebon 2 ini. Contoh yang awalnya nelayan, khususnya nelayan keramba kerang hijau, bisa menghabiskan 5 liter BBM jenis solar. Untuk sekarang itu bisa mencapai 10-12 liter. Nah itu akibat lahan yang diambil oleh pengembang. Karena sebagian lahan yang dulunya dimanfaatkan oleh petani keramba kerang hijau, sekarang kan diambil sama si pengembang perusahaan. Di situ sebenarnya si pengembang itu sudah merugikan masyarakat secara tidak langsung. Nah, bahkan kalau kita merasakan dengan kegagalan yang sekarang ini, gagal panen, itu sangat luar biasa sebenarnya.
Yang jadinya naikannya tuh Pak 5 mili, 3 mili, 2 mili. Jadi tahu.
Bukan air itu merah, garam jadi airnya merah. debunya. Kalau musim panas, mana-mana. Dulu sekali cuman diganti rugi tuh, garam-garam merah semua. Terus nggak ada kesininya tuh, nggak tahu gimana.
Enggak setuju saya itu.
Nggak setuju ada?
Enggak, kepengennya tuh ya seperti dulu lagi lautnya.
Itu waktu sebelum ada PLTU itu di wilayah PLTU 1 saya tuh mencarikan di pinggiran pantai PLTU 1. Sekarang udah ada PLTU, berdirinya PLTU itu udah berkurang. Kita mencari ikan atau mata pencahariannya tuh udah berkurang, udah nggak ada. Dan kita pindah ke timur, sedangkan di sebelah timur PLTU 1 ada pembangunan PLTU 2. Dan saat ini saya tidak bisa mencari ikan seperti dulu. Jadi saya ganti profesi. Dan saya sekarang mewakili nelayan-nelayan pinggiran mengenai gugatan hukum ke PLTU 2. Yang mengenai gugatan hukum itu mengenai izin lingkungan dan dampak-dampak dari batu bara.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Honor, for this opportunity. Please introduce myself. My name is Meiki. I work in one of the biggest environment organization called WALHI. My working area in West Java. We also assisting the community impacted by the coal power plant 1 and also the expansion of unit 2 that there is a ING involvement on the financing. As we watched before from the short movie, that is the evidence that describing how the community getting suffer because of the impact of the unit 1 that already existing since uh, 2010, and then their life become more bad after the government uh, uh, adding more coal power plant unit 2 as expansions from the unit 1. I just want to explain and adding something more about the impact. Actually, there are the small fishermen that actually impact and lost their job. That some of them are women, some of them are the mothers, several of them also are single parents who depending their life on to collecting small clam, small shell around the coastal area near the coal power plant Unit 1 and Unit 2. And because of the projects of the Unit 1 and the impact from the Unit 2 wastewater, the water quality, the ecosystem become damaged, and they no longer can have or can collecting the small shell, small clam that they can sell to the community around their village. Yeah. So now, just to survive, the women, the mothers, the small fishermen have they have to move from the first area, uh, getting more far, 10 kilometers away from the first area. Yeah, the first area that now become Unit 1, coal power plant Unit 1 and Unit 2 actually is near their village. So if now they have to move away 10 kilometers, uh, of course it will increase their operational costs. They need to expense the transportation that before the coal power plant exists, they just walking from their house to the coastal area. So no cost that they have to pay. Yeah. So it also impact to the because of the land use change that it used to be just like we have watched. The area is used to be salt pond and also the farming area, paddy field, and now it impact to the hundreds of the salt pond worker getting no job because the land already used become a coal uh, power plant. And we also want to explain that there is a case of bribery, corruption. Yeah, when the one of the sub constructions company they uh, bribing the former Cirebon region, and the case now is still being investigating by the Indonesian corruption eradication. So we, even though the case is slow to be investigated, and until now, we also worried and waiting for the progress, but we still follow up. We still push the Indonesian corruption eradication to speed up, to accelerate their investigating. But as we know, the sub subcontractor company already admitted that they did one of them of their manager, general manager, give bribery to the former region. It means there's we want to say, yeah, there are many impacts that already happened in this project. Yeah, that also it means ING have to look at it, look at the case, and look at all of the impact and take responsibility for all that already happened in the community and also in the project itself. So our on behalf of the community, we want to demand that ING is should be to stop continuing Cirebon coal power plant project, and ING
should to withdraw all the financing of the project, stop financing dirty coal, and stop becoming climate crime. That's it from me on behalf of community, Your Honor. Thank you for this opportunity to us to show all of the evidence. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your testimony today, Meiki. And I'm sure that there will be many questions put to you by the judges as well as the jury here. So may I now ask the judges if they have any questions for Meiki? Yeah?
So thank you very much, Meiki, for the presentation and also the evidence that you share with us. I want to start by asking a very direct question. ING is heavily invested, as we saw in data presented. Those numbers are very big, even relative to Java and Indonesia's gross domestic product.
Yeah.
Yes. So was there consultation by ING with the peoples of Indonesia, peoples of Java, and the peoples of the villages that are affected by the project itself? So you mentioned in your introduction you are part of an environmental group and part of Friends of the Earth. So was there any ING work done on a local environmental assessment? And the last one, for now, was there any work done with the participation of ING in exploring what the ecological impact of funding such a project would be?
Okay. Yeah. So let me explain. In our regulation, Indonesian regulation, the company who will build, let's say, who will build the coal power plant, they have to prepare or to have a environmental impact assessment document. So based on our experience, and also we already interview to the community, affected community, there is no socialization and such of also public consultation that it came from the ING. It's usually the socialization or even the public consultation is being set up, or it doing by the company who will build, not by the supporter or the sponsor or the investment investor. So it happened on it, the socialization and all of the social and public consultation was done by the company. The company's name is Cirebon Energy Power, and the second company is Cirebon Energy Prasarana. So they are who manage or set up the socialization and public consultation. So it's usually the sponsor, or even beside the ING, let's say, just like Marubeni, also not, they didn't take socialization. So that I can explain.
So I have one small one.
Yeah, no, can I just ask one clarifying? So are you saying, we want to be clear on this, Meiki, are you saying that Cirebon power plant, the coal power plant, and the social and environmental impact assessment was done by another Cerebon consultant. So Cerebon fire plant, the social and ecological impact of the coal plant, the assessment of the impact was done by a consulting firm that was related to the same company?
Yes.
Both are Cerebon.
Yeah. So both of Cirebon. So the company in our regulation, the company can hire consultant if they cannot, or if the company don't have ability to set up to do the study gitu. So in our regulation, in the company have permission to hire a kind of a consultant to to do the research for EIA document.
So thank you for that, Meiki. Thanks for clarifying that as well. The second point I want to raise, also for your sharing with us, please. From what I hear you say, the expansion from the first power plant to the second power plant happened after the first power plant is established. You mentioned 2010.
Yes.
So already some impacts were being felt. This is not a maths exercise. Real people were being affected by power plant 1. But the expansion to power plant 2 took place after these impacts were already being felt. Well, and we saw some level of protest in the video evidence you shared. Did ING respond as a funder of the project to real people's protests that impacted on their livelihoods, but more importantly, on their lives?
No, so far that we do the advocacy, there is no response from the ING acting, or they respond with all of the chaos, all of the impact that happened in because of the Cirebon Unit 1 and also the expansion Unit 2. Actually, we with the coalition sent a complaint letter to ING in 2015 and 2017, and the third one, the update one is we sent again our complaint letter in April 2021. But until now, we have no answers with our letter. So I conclude that there is no response from the ING itself. I remember, clarify, the second letter, ING respond us, but the answer is not satisfying. That we know our demand, and at least the complaint or the explanation that we want to ING to responsibility to take responsible to for all of the impact. There is no reaction. There is no implementation from the ING.
Was there any other question? Yes.
Meiki, thank you very, very much for that very, very good and clear presentation. I've got about 3 questions. The first one is, does ING have a policy of banning investments in coal? Did ING ever, I mean, it's my understanding that they may have introduced a policy of not investing in coal. Is that correct?
Yeah, based on information from our network, ING tightening its coal policy in July 2017. Yeah, ING will stop financing of another new coal power station. Yeah, but ING in fact still continuing the financing on the coal power plant in Cirebon, despite the protests from the local population, repeat complaint against ING from Indonesian, also from the Indonesian NGOs.
It continued to finance Cirebon even after it had said it wasn't going to finance any more coal. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
A second question I have is, have any of the other banks that are in the consortium of banks that ING put together to finance Cirebon, have any of them withdrawn from the project?
No, there is no other banks who involved in the Cirebon financing.
Is it correct that Crédit Agricole has withdrawn its financing?
Oh yes, yeah. Only Crédit Agricole who withdraw their financings.
So another bank that was involved has withdrawn its financing.
I beg your pardon. Sorry.
So another bank that was involved in the project has withdrawn its financing. Has stopped financing.
No.
Crédit Agricole has stopped financing?
Yeah, only Crédit Agricole.
Okay.
But ING and then JB, they still keep continuing the financing.
Okay, so I'd like to ask you also one question. My understanding is that ING says that it has social and environmental principles and it adheres to something called the Equator Principles. Now, my understanding is that your coalition of groups that are opposed to Cirebon detailed that there were some 65 violations of this set of principles that the bank signs up to, and that you informed ING of those. Have they ever responded in detail to your documentation of the violations of the Equator Principles?
We are not in detail comparing to the Equator principle. We just we only explain and then tell them from our letter that the impact is the project is gave impact to the fishermen, for example, for fishermen, fisher folks, and also the farmers, salt maker, and also the environment. For example, the seawater quality ecosystem, and also for the last one we mentioned about bribery. But
you haven't received detailed responses to your complaints from ING. Okay. And I just want to ask two questions very quickly on the role of the Dutch state. Could you tell me whether you know whether or not the Dutch state is investigating the allegations of corruption? Has there been any action by the Dutch state to investigate the corruption? Alleged corruption?
No, there is no.
Okay.
There is no action of investigation.
And in your view, would it be open to the Dutch state, should the Dutch state have banned Dutch companies from investing in coal when it was first aware that coal was so damaging to climate, but also to the environment and to people? Should it have banned?
Yes.
Okay, but it hasn't.
Yes.
But it
Yeah,
hasn't
but it
taken any
hasn't.
action. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes. You're welcome, sir. My pleasure.
Okay, members of the jury, do you have any questions for Meiki? Do you have?
Hi, Meiki. Thank you for your presentation. I think we have many similarities in the case exposed today. I would like to ask you specifically about the second phase of the project. Are you aware of the date of the negotiations for the plant expansion? Was it named as the project's second phase or the project's expansion? I ask that because you mentioned construction companies' bribery, and was there an addition to the contract or the construction contract, the civil works, or was there the end of the first project's contract and then they assumed a second multi-million project that was already being questioned on many grounds? Thank you.
Uh, I'm so sorry. I still can get the question. I'm so sorry.
I think the question
I
is,
still don't. Can it? Yeah.
I think the question is the Cirebon 1 project. Was there a separate contract for Cirebon 1 and a separate contract for Cirebon 2? Or was Cirebon 2 part of the first contract as an expansion? Was there only one contract for both projects, or were there two separate contracts?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cirebon. Actually, Cirebon 1 and the expansion Cirebon Unit 2 is separate contract. Separate contract, and that's why the operator company, the company operator that will be operate the coal power plant also different, not with the same name of the company. Yeah, gitu. So it's separate. The contract is different between 1 and unit 2. Gitu.
So the same financiers, but two different contracts, two different companies.
Yeah, two different companies. Even though the person who in charge in this company came from the same group, the same group.
Thank you for that. Was there any other? Yes.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'd just like to know, what is the human cost of the struggle? The human cost. You've not spoken about the people who are dying because of the impact of the project, and how have the human rights defenders protected themselves, because I've seen protests, the exposure, political exposure and risk is too high. Are there people dying in the course of advocating for your cause? And how do you ensure that the human rights defenders are protected? Thank you.
Yeah. We also understand. Yeah, we actually aware and understand that there is a risk, since the community also experiencing that they got kind of intimidation when the first, just like we watched from the movie, one of the fishermen filing the lawsuit, and then after that, the community who become as a representative, as a plaintiff, they got kind of intimidation, yeah, intimidation. For example, if they didn't, if they are not revoke their lawsuit, so the company will lawsuit back them. Yeah, so that's based on their our plaintiff testimony to us. So yeah, basically we we don't have kind of we have tightened our security procedure. Yeah, so we kind of we make we often make a kind of phone call to monitoring the community who become as a plaintiff. So, and then also we are back up. We got the backup from our colleagues from the legal aid organization, just for just in case if there is something happen, if there is kind of uh, arrested, for example, arrested, or the others intimidation that it that we feel it already threaten the community, or also including us as a community organizer about our and the community security. I think that's it that I can explain. Thank you.
Sharon, did you want?
Thank you very much for your presentation. I wasn't going to ask a question, but just your recent statements leads me to ask a question. Who's benefiting from the coal plants? Where is the energy going to? What is it being used for? Like they're creating this electricity, but what purpose? It's not benefiting. It's not benefiting
the government.
Fishermen.
Yeah, government said the needs of, and also the adding of the coal power plant unit around, for example, in the Java Island, whole Java Island, is to increase the economic development. Yeah, but it actually, we, based on our view, the electricity needs from the coal power plant, it will be supply the industrial area that the government has been planning. So we can say the electricity will be more used by the industrial, not for the people. Yeah.
Okay, I just
because
have one.
Because we ever have experience when we live in the community. There is a kind of there is no we have experience when the electricity getting stopped in this, in the village that we doing the advocacy near the coal power plant. So it's how to say, so the village that near the coal power plant, they having experience of no electricity getting shut down, even though only one day. Yeah, but for me, it's for us that we feel the experience. It's how to say? Yeah, it's bad experience. Yeah, when the village near the coal power plant or the power near the power infrastructure, but their electricity needs is still not sustained. That is I can explain.
I just have one other question. Do you know where the coal is coming from that they're burning in that plant?
From
'Cause I know
the Kalimantan region. From the Kalimantan regions, from the mining, the coal mining mostly in Kalimantan, in Borneo Island.
Okay, thank you very much.
Meiki, thank you, but I will just ask one more concluding question to round off the last two questions. You said that the power produced in the power plant goes to the industries, and there is an industrial area established by the government. Can you say something about the goods that are produced in that industrial area? Are they produced for export or are they produced for local consumption? Who benefits from that industrial production?
Yeah, based on we knew the government push the industrial to have the production for export needs. Yeah, because the in Java Island, in government have a planning Java Island as a center of the industrial, no longer as a farming sector, but government have a planning Java Island become as a center of the industrial. So it will be develop many our industrial area in all of the province in Java Island, including also in West Java. It will be 4 industrial area from in the north, in the north of West Java, in west, east, and south. So it will be, so we conclude that the electricity will be supplied to the this industrial area.
And do you have any idea of the countries to which these goods are exported? What are the countries to which this industrial production goes to? Where is it exported?
Yeah, we still don't have information about that.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contributions.
Thank you.
And we will consider all the evidence.
Thank you.